My name is Bonnie Brzezowski. I'm a reference librarian at the Corvallis-Benton County Public Library. I wanted to talk to you today about misinformation online, specifically related to COVID-19. That's where my examples are going to come from. And this little lesson is just specifically focusing on using fact-checking websites to debunk misinformation. So stick with me and I'll show you some ways you might not have expected that you can use some of these sites and search some of these sites. So one of the easiest strategies, obviously, or maybe not obviously, but one of the easiest strategies to debunk misinformation online is to check and see if it's already been fact-checked by another reputable organization. There's a lot of different reputable fact-checking websites out there, including PolitiFact, Factcheck.org, Snopes, Truth Be Told, Washington Post Fact Checker, and NPR has one as well. I'm just not sure. I'm blanking on what it's called. If you want a more extensive list, on the same page where this video is hosted, there's a link to just a bunch of different links where that'll help you navigate the world of misinformation and fake news more broadly. And on page 4, there's a more complete list of fact-checking organizations that you can use to look for information. And the thing is that some of them get accused of biases one direction or another, and ultimately that's not so much what's important. What's interesting about them is that they are going to do a bunch of research to try to debunk the claim or to try to figure out what's going on behind the claim, and so they've done a lot of the work for you, so you don't have to do that research. So even if you don't agree with whatever conclusion they come to, you can use that research and come to your own conclusions. So one way that you can search fact-checking websites as well as other websites is, some people don't realize that you can target searching specific websites by using cite, SI in your search terms, and so it's SITE colon. So let me give you an example. This Facebook post, I think it may have been on other social networks as well, but I saw it on Facebook, was going around saying that people are going to be entitled to a $700 to $1,000 per week check from the U.S. government due to the COVID-19 situation. I think they're trying to lend it an air of legitimacy by giving it this local news logo and the breaking news image there. But if you were to do a search, so if you look at the search syntax here on the slide, citizens entitled to weekly check COVID. So those are the search terms that I pulled out just from the post. And then follow that with site:factcheck.org or site:politifact.com. What that's going to do is it's going to search for those keywords, but only on those two websites. So you'll only see results from those two websites. So we can do that really quick just so you can kind of see it in action. COVID site : so there are no spaces here. This is all just one block of text, and then or. In Google, you do have to capitalize the or, and the or needs to be in all caps. I don't know why that is, but all other search engines, as far as I could tell, you don't have to capitalize the or. So if you're like a DuckDuckGo user, for example, don't worry about it. Just type or, and we'll run that search there. So again, just pointing to it. So I've got my search terms, the two sites I want to search linked together. I could add more to that if I wanted to. I could do or site:snopes.com. But anyways, you can see that my results, PolitiFact, Factcheck.com, those are the only sites that are returning results for me. So it only searched those sites. And then I do see information that, yes, they did debunk this claim. It was a misleading post. It's not true, ultimately. So if you don't want to remember that, or you'd rather go about it a totally different way, that's absolutely fine. And one way to do that is to use the Google Advanced Search. So starting again at the Google homepage, there's no way to get to the advanced search from this page as far as I've ever been able to tell. So you have to type something into the search box. I'm not that creative, so type in hello. And then it's under settings. Oh. And then advanced search. The direct link is google.com/advanced_search. So if you ever want to go to it directly or you want to bookmark it, there are a lot of different options here. I would check it out if you have some time, different ways that you can group your search terms together. But here is the way that you could search by an individual site if you wanted to. And so you can see I've messed around with this before. What I did learn is that it will only let you search one site at a time through Google Advanced Search. So you have to choose to do PolitiFact and then Snopes and then Factcheck, which might be a little tedious. You can't link them together with the or like you can using the cite colon trick. And I found that you can't just type them next to each other either. So now you know. Something else that might interest you is you can also search by domain. So if you just want to search, like, for example, the .edu domain, and that's the domain of that colleges and university websites are using. So if you've got an academic topic to research, or you want to see what academia is saying about COVID-19, for example, we could put in some search terms and then just limit it to .edu and only return results from those particular websites. You want to just know what the government is saying about COVID-19, we could change this to .gov and run some search terms only on .gov websites. So that's kind of handy. And don't forget, I mean, that's true with the site as well. So if you wouldn't use that here, but if we were doing a keyword search, we could always tack on site:.gov or site:.edu. So hopefully that's a little trick that maybe you didn't know, or maybe you didn't think to use that way. Hopefully it's useful to you. We'll have a few other videos like this, different strategies that you can use to debunk misinformation online. And our examples will specifically be related to COVID-19. Thanks for joining me.